Hello, friends. Welcome. Today, just making about a video about the different types of people that you get as clients. Now, you will get some people that are so open to it because they're spiritual, because they're embracing the spiritual side of life. Lots of people that have got the gift, the sixth senses and that, and they are the most open. And the Reiki loves them because, they're awoken in some amount. And it really gets into them very powerfully. So you will get super hot if you do somebody like that. Even at a distant healing, you will get hot, and distant healings are not as powerful as in-person healings. But here, you'll literally have to start taking off your top, because you're starting to sweat because you're getting that hot. And I've got one that I've just done. So you get people that are very open to it. You get people that are moderately open to it. And then you get the very rare one that comes to you for healing that's not in the slightest bit open to it. So, these are the three different types you more or less get. So, this lady that I've been doing recently, distant healing, she is so aware spiritually. She's partly medium. She's partly empathic and different things, but she really embraces her spiritual side of her life. And the healings have been so powerful with her at a distance that she's had major healing crisis twice and big releases since then. And I've only been healing her about 5 weeks, once a week. She was so open to it, and she's had a lot of trauma in her life and stuff, and it's all bottled up inside of her. So we block these things in life, and we, have them in our mind, but they're blockages, and it still has an effect on us, even if we can't remember them hardly. They're there, and they're having a negative effect on our daily lives and outlook on life and how we feel generally. And she was very angry. She had a lot of anger problems. And since she's been having the healings, she has changed a lot. And her friends are going with her in the car, and she used to be shouting at everybody that was getting in her way when she was driving her car. And now she's just calm and quite placid driving her car. And that's in 4-5 weeks. So she's doing amazing. But she had a major healing crisis the first 2 weeks. And it started the next day. She had a very disturbed night's sleep that night. And the next day she had a major detox and cleanse happen, a healing crisis. And she found herself, being extremely depressed and very angry, and she was taking it out a bit on her family, I think. But she didn't like it at all. But it really cleansed and detoxed her out. She felt so much better after 2 days for it, and she wanted to come back for more healing after that. So she come back, and the next week again, she had a major healing crisis where the negative energy had been, virtually sucked out of her by the Reiki and brought to the surface for a release. So people quite often have a disturbed night if they're very, been through a lot of trauma. They have a disturbed night's sleep, and then they get up the next day and they can have a major healing crisis. So we must make clients aware of this when we can. So she's doing wonderful now. She's not having the healing crisis, but she's waking up 3 o'clock every week in AM in the morning. She's thinking about all these negative people in her life that have had bad effects on her, and they're just prevalent in her mind because it's brought them to the surface to be released. So she's having big releases of all the baggage and bad people and the people that have treated her wrong in life. So she's releasing it all, and that will get better in the next few weeks. She'll be over it, and but she absolutely loves the Reiki. Then I had another client come here a few years ago, a lady. She wanted to try Reiki, heard good things about it, come in here. And I was sitting down talking to her about generally how Reiki works and that. And she just piped up out the blue, "I don't believe in God." And I thought, oh, that's the kibosh on it straight away. Because, we are spirits. And if you have no faith that you're a spiritual being, no faith, it doesn't matter if you have faith in God or not. It doesn't matter. But having faith in yourself as being a spiritual energy being is the only way Reiki's going to channel to you. Because there's many that didn't believe in God out in Japan when they first brought about Reiki, of course, but they believed they had a spirit energy body and that, healing could help that. So it did. So that's the thing. She totally denied it. That didn't believe she was a spirit, and her spirit totally closed off. If your spirit in you knows that you have no belief in spirituality or being a spirit, it's not going to let you have healing. And I put my hands on her for 30 minutes healing, and not one droplet went into her. And she got up and said, I didn't feel a thing. I said, no. She said it was very relaxing, but I didn't feel a thing. I said, no, you're not open to it in the slightest bit. And I said, I will not charge you for this session and discontinue, but she insisted on paying me. But and then afterwards, when I was just chatting to her afterwards, she said, oh, can I be a healer? Because I want to heal the animals at the animal sanctuary I work at. And I said, no, you can't be a healer, not with the outlook you've got on life. You'll never be able to do it. So she was disappointed, but off she went. The other person I had was somebody that was about 65, 70, and he come here because he'd been recommended to try Reiki because he tried literally everything else because he was highly depressed. And I just chatted to him and got to know him and everything over the 3 sessions he come. And it was obvious that he was shutting down in life and not interested in life anymore. He'd given up all his passions. He'd given up all his hobbies. He was just withdrawing into himself and becoming highly depressed through that because he wasn't going out and doing things. And he went for a 2-month holiday out abroad before he came here. And I said, what were you like on holiday? Were you happier? Yes, I was much happier. Not so depressed. And I'm going, well, it's the situation you're in over here is not making you happy. And anyway, he did accept the healing. The healing did go into him, not at a highly powerful level because he was not really totally open to it, but it did go into him. And then, he said it was very relaxing, nice to have and everything. But he kept coming back, and he was one of these people that was so down on life and, shutting down in life that he wasn't prepared to self-heal. He didn't want to help himself. He wanted somebody else to cure him, and we can't do that. We can't cure somebody. We can give healing to remove negative energies, stagnant energies, and different things like this, but then it's about the person self-healing, because Reiki will help them to promote self-healing within themselves. And when they're not prepared to heal, when they're quite happy shutting down and not doing anything, it's not going to help. And, on the 3rd session, I said, I'm giving that to you for free, this last session, because I can't heal you and because you're not ready to self-heal. So off he went. So I've had another client who I've been healing regularly to start off with, but then for 3 years I've been healing her, and now she comes about once a month or so. She doesn't come to me. I do distant healing with her, but she's very open to her, and it knocks her to sleep every time. And so she's got a lot of trauma from abuse that she's had done to her in her childhood and since then. So she again is blocking herself from getting better slightly. She benefits very highly from the healings. They're very powerful with her, and they do a lot of good to make her feel better, but she's still not ready to release all those negative energies trapped in her mind because they're encroached on her and she's frightened of them. She's frightened of letting them out. So you can't help everybody, can you? And, that's it. I've had quite a few women actually with post-traumatic stress disorder and abuse and done wonders with them. One that come here, as I've already said on one of my videos, come here and she'd been strangled, beaten by her partner. She'd had all kinds of terrible things done to her. Strangled to unconsciousness. And she managed to get away from him in the end, and she come here for healing in 4 sessions she had in the end, and she was cured within 4 sessions. And she went out after the second healing, and her friends started saying to her, you're totally different to what you used to be. You're a new person. So that was it. And on the third session, a big lump of darkness come out of her. Could feel it coming out, and she felt it too. And she walked out here and she smiled and she said, "That's the first time I felt that free and happy in many, many years." So it's brilliant when you do these things. And another woman that also been witnessing child abuse and stuff as a child from parent, come here and had post-traumatic stress disorder, and within 6 weeks she was completely cured of it, and it totally left her. And she'd had quite a turmoil in her teenage years and things as well, homeless and living on her own. But she went on to become a Reiki healer. I taught her to be a Reiki healer. When she done Reiki 1 and 2, she's off in one of the local towns not far away doing mobile Reiki healing now. So she absolutely loves it. And she was very religious, going to her church and stuff, and she stopped doing that. She doesn't want nothing to do with them anymore. So that's a life-changing effect, and that's what Reiki does. When you have healings and stuff or become a healer, it gives you a big detox where you totally change your life, and you go up a totally new avenue, and you get rid of the old baggage that doesn't serve you, and you go on and become a much happier and better person for it. Now, there's a couple of other things I just wanted to add to this video. When you're healing, be careful if they're wearing a lot of makeup, because you put your hands on their face and it's just going to melt it, and they don't want you doing that. So give hands off healing if they've got a lot of makeup on their face. The other thing is hair. People don't want to go out after you've healed them and brushed your hands through their hair like this, looking like a scarecrow, do they? So just be careful. Oh, when I'm doing somebody with nice hair and that, if they haven't got it tied back, I just put my hands lightly just above the hair to heal them, so it doesn't muck it up. Because it gets very hot as well, and they get quite sweaty if your hand's right on them. And the forehead as well, if there's hair coming down on the forehead, I don't do that because it's all stuck to the forehead afterwards. So I just give hands off really close, only an inch off the skin, to those areas so that they don't get mucked up. But the other one thing I want to talk to you about setting up a practice is, nice clean room, smell free, change your clothes. If you've got pets, keep pets out of your healing room if you can, because people have got allergies. No flowers and all this stuff in there as well, because it's not good if you got a healing room. Go careful with burning certain oils and that. People can be allergic to them. I had a woman come here, and I normally put lavender oil on. This one day I forgot to do it, and it was meant I forgot to do it. And she come in here, and I said, "Oh, I just put some lavender oil in my burn." I'm like, "No, don't do that," she says. "It makes me violently sick." So you've got to go careful. Don't put aromatherapy therapies on your hands. You touch their skin, they're allergic to it. They'll get big blotches come out on their skin. So don't put anything on your hands. Wash them thoroughly with soap is the best thing. But using hand sanitizer that hasn't got a strong scent, no, I use Purell, and it's brilliant. And none of my clients have ever had a problem with it or complained about it. So yeah, just to think about these things. Keep your healing records and all the rest of it. But advertising your business, get flyers to go and put up in shop windows and stuff to advertise your business if you want to get clients and set up a practice. Take a load of cards round to hair salons, beauty salons, these sort of places, and ask if you can leave some cards in there. Most of them are quite friendly people that'll let you leave some cards in there. So, leave 25 cards in there. There's going to be plenty of people who are taking one, and, even if they don't come, they might recommend a friend. The other thing is my Google business. I get loads of people, a number of people locally that find my Google business, and it just says put your company name on there, but I actually put Neil Cooper, Reiki Master, Bognor Regis, where I live, in there, and it gets loads more hits that way than just putting a company name in it, because they're searching Reiki Healer Bognor Regis, so it doesn't get no hits if you haven't got that on. So yeah, my Google business worth doing to get local people, because that's what my Google business is about, getting local customers. So yeah, go on like that and do what you can. And, you're going to get lots of different experience, lots of different clients. I had one the other week, a guy come to me, and he'd been to a spiritual retreat for a week, and he was so inspired by it. It was nothing to do with spirituality before that. And he went to a spiritual retreat down in Devon, a beautiful place, and they weren't allowed any modern technology other than their mobile phones. And he had such a wonderful time for 10 days down there. And he said, I want to try Reiki healing. So he come here. And I said, are you open to the Reiki? He said, yes, but only from the universe. I didn't want it from God. And I said, fair enough, because it doesn't matter. It works whatever way you use it. And so he went forward like that. And he come down here, he laid on the bed. I healed him, and he was asleep in a few minutes, but they don't go unaware of sleep, most Reiki clients, when they go to sleep. But Reiki knocks them out because it heals more deeply when it knocks them out. It's got more access to the subconscious mind. So it does knock people to sleep. Reiki does it. And he was actually snoring lightly once or twice because he was really asleep, but he still knew everything I was doing afterwards, he told me. And I've had many other clients tell me that they're still aware of what I'm doing, even though they're asleep. And he was seeing colours in his mind. He's never had a healing before. He was seeing colours in his mind, energies going around his body, he could feel. So he had a wonderful time. He said, I'll be back. So it was great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the course. And we'll be going on to the conclusion shortly. Just make sure you mark it as finished, the course. There's a button there just to mark it as finished, and then your certificate will be issued. So I wish you the best with your practice and your healing and whatever you choose to do with it. Love and light, Neil.